always, you never know what you're going to get at that first downbeat, but, you know, as I said, we're on a national stage here, so you have a certain expectation that it's going to be incredible. And it was, and we got through that first rehearsal, we read through all of the pieces, and, you know, we kind of, at the end of rehearsal, went, oh, okay, well, not quite what we expected, but there's potential, and by the end of the next rehearsal, it was 3,000% improved, and a lot of that has to do with the musicianship of the choristers, and of course with the leadership of Dr. Bagley.
So terribly tired.
Loud. There we are. Get over it. Just get over it.
He does things in a similar way, so I feel like I'm just learning a lot more because I'm here, but I'm learning more as a professional than as a singer.
And at the same time, as I was kind of going through this crisis as a composer, I was working with this refugee family, a man named Daniel Morambi, his wife, and his 5 children.
Well, there's one moment that can't get out of my ears, and it's Jason's piece. And ironically, it's not the big climax, but it's the second verse. And it's the warmth of his writing and the warmth in which the guys are singing it that they instinctively sense it as a very, very warm message. And in spite of what Jason explained to the guys last night, that doesn't override what I hear and how it speaks to me and in my heart and in the way that I, if you will, conduct it or phrase it or rehearse it or whatever.
And I came across this hymn text, "Come ye thankful people, come," and somehow it just really reminded me of the journey that Daniel and his family had gone through. You know, "Come ye thankful people, come," raise the song of harvest home. It's a song about coming home, where there's a warm blanket and a hot cup of tea waiting for you, you know, and that's something that this family hadn't experienced in nearly a decade until they were finally able to make their new home in the U.S. And that's a lot of what this piece is about.
I think it was something that Joseph Martin said. The way he worked it in his head on how he got it on the paper, kind of you can relate it to life, where he started in the middle. If you have one thought that you want to get across to somebody, and the thought that he had, the way he started The Awakening, wasn't even a line. I don't even remember the line that he started with. It was just so, it meant a lot to him. So for me and my future experiences, I'm definitely going to try and pick one thing that I want to get across and grow from that.
Sits in an office and puts dots and dashes on the page and imagines what it might be like to hear that moment come to life as you just did with The Awakening. It's absolutely stunning and a thrill for me. I thank you for the gift of your musicianship and for the warmth, and Maestro, thank you for that thoughtful reading, beautiful, expressive reading. It's just, you know, most composers are dead, so this is a really good thing.
I read in a book once that the end of the last sentence of every book is always the most important. And I kind of think of that the same way for a concert or for music. In The Awakening, that last chord, that last sentence, let music live, is just, it feels like it raises me up to a different place of being, a different form. And I want other people to feel that. I want other people to feel that kind of sense, that kind of feeling, that kind of want and suspension almost. That it's just absolutely amazing. Let music live.
Yeah, that's well there for if I did would be only for the top voices. Bottom voices you keep them steady. Ready to go? By the way, do these all of these long ones. Don't just think give it life.
When I first got the music in the mail, I wasn't that excited because I thought it was pretty standard like repertoire. But what he did with the music just like completely tore it apart, and like everything has to be very precise, and like everyone has to come in together and exit together. Like these are things that you think are very obvious, but like when there's 278 of us, like he has to get all of us to do it together.
Talk briefly just about the panelists. You guys have had some amazing talks in these rehearsals.
Lord.
Just give me a little.
I feel like we're
nugget.
superstars. Jeez.
He said he'd bring the convention to
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
I think it's better than the convention because it's so personal. But the variety, like Alice Parker, man, that's unheard of. Like I don't even know. First of all, I don't even know if she would honor us with that kind of thing. Not that she was stuck up or anything, but to have her come in and just tell like grandpa stories about Grandpa Shaw and just things that happened with us, and that was to put the face to that iconic name was just mind blowing. And then the Chanticleer conference, because I've been listening to them ever since high school, and just knowing who they are and the level of artistry that they are. I wanted to sit down with him and have like 3 different meals and just like, listen, I need to ask you these questions, how do you do this, why do you do this, and just in awe, and the composers for all the different songs. There's a variety from like Jason McCoy, who did You Thankful People. Like I've never heard of him before, but man, is he talented. And then going all the way up to people like Alice Parker, and it's
Who are household names.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's they're all good, and it's just shows me that it's not. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be like known by everybody in order to enjoy this kind of thing. And it's encouraging, especially to the younger kids. And it's just I will never forget that. Like all the different talks that we've had.
Yeah.
It's kind of surreal in a way, because you just look around and you're just surrounded by all the sound coming from everywhere.
Way up, she rises early in the morning. Way up, she rises way up, she rises way up. She rises early in the morning, early in the morning, early in the morning. She do with a drum can say.
That there were so many beautiful voices in the room that the sound was just overwhelming, physically overwhelming. Students would really benefit from seeing the level of dedication that singers can have to this, regardless of what their plans are, regardless of what their station is, their stage in life. So I think there are probably some high school sophomores here that have already dedicated more time to singing in chorus than some really successful collegiate choristers that I know. So I think there's a lot to be said and a lot to be learned about just the passion that some of these students have for what they're doing here.
Just saw you go sing inside the women's chorus rehearsal, and you seem to be enjoying yourself. Tell me, has the whole experience been a joyful experience? And talk about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you don't get many chances like this to work with a choir that is so in with itself, I guess you could say, and so in tune. Everybody seems like they're going for the same goal. Everybody seems like they're going for that same sound.
Even my mother says when I was a child, the minute that the music came on, whether it be the organ or the choir, I was riveted, just riveted. And every year we had this, what we call annual choir day. We had choirs all over the county that would come and they would do their thing. And then at the very end, it was a mass choir, you know. And the guest conductor, I remember, was a woman, I can't remember her name, but the impression that I had was that she was a doctor and she had this pink robe. And I thought, it's kind of like, oh, God's children, I want one of those robes.
Tell me about Dr. Bagley.
Oh man, he's a hoot. he is so much fun. Before, when I told my choir director, Dr. Head at UD, that I got in, he asked who the director was. I said Dr. Bagley. And he's like, oh, you'll have a blast.
Y'all keep it forward. One more time. Come on.
And he's very picky, but I mean, like, that's to his credit. Like, I know everybody just sits there and they're just like, I wish this guy would just make it easier on us, or like, you should just, it was good enough. But at the same time, when somebody is demanding those things of you, you do grow as a musician.
Let's do this. So keep it light until 118 and then go. But I heard more. Okay, now you're being honest. Okay, that's all right. But we've decided that you're not going to do it. Come on. You see what I mean? You don't really need it. You don't really need it. Only use it when you have to work. As you're coming to the end of the phrase, goes to the next phrase. That's all you need.
After one of the first rehearsals, I was just in awe of him. I knew I wanted to go into conducting and music education.
Dr. Bagley is one of a kind. I've worked with many clinicians throughout my life up to this point, and Dr. Bagley is, they all have their aspects, but Dr. Bagley is one of my many favorites I've ever worked with. He has a way of explaining things and working with his students and other colleagues and friends that he has in his choir, and he's brought so much enlightenment to this whole experience.
Pull a Bagleyism out, summarizing this whole thing. 3 words or less.
3 words or less. These absolutely intimate, expressive gestures as one voice and as one group of voices.
Challenging, motivating, inspiring.
That music, man.
Oh dear. Be in the moment. I'm a man of faith. I grew up in the church. I was inspired to be in this profession because of the church. When the invitation came, I was thrilled, but not in an immature way. I had this feeling, okay, I'm ready.